Bacon, and this is...
I'm Doc.
And we're here with the Debt Maker, back to another installment of the Supercharger, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So what are we going to be doing today?
Well, aside from sweating our behinds off because it is incredibly hot here. It's in the mid 90s and it's already just after dinner time. And it's hot, so we're going to be sweating a little bit. We had about a 5 or 6 day delay just due to work, and then we went to
NASCAR race.
Yeah, we went to the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte Motor Speedway last night. It was a long night, great race, had a lot of fun.
It was loud.
It was hot and loud.
Yeah.
Fast and loud would be better. And that's where, you know, coming back from the track, driving back today, and seeing everybody out in their cars cruising, and then this thing is just beginning the process of its transformation. So anyway, we want to get busy with this. The whole purpose of this video is not really to show you how to do everything, but to just chronicle our journey as we delve into the journey of Boost. And that being said, we're debating here, do I look at the camera when you're talking, or does it look unnatural for me to be looking at you when he's talking? I don't know. Maybe you'll have to tell us. But either way, we're just gonna roll with it, right?
Figure it out.
Yeah. So what do we gotta do next? Next.
Label.
We're still disassembling. Yeah. And before we start tearing all this stuff apart,
Gotta label.
we need to label it. So we've got our blue tape and our marker. We're marking our EGR, vacuum connections, whether they're driver or passenger side, if they're vacuums or if they're electrical or whatever the case may be. We're just marking all that, so that way we can hopefully get it put back together, even with the modifications. So we're going to disconnect the fuel rail. We are going to unplug the injectors, and then we're going to take off the fuel system. After we take the fuel system off, then we should be able to finish disconnecting all the other vacuum lines, and then we should be able to just lift, unbolt the intake and take the intake off. And since you last saw me, I did have a chance to jack the car up and put it on stands.
And take out battery.
Yeah.
Take out battery.
And then I also drained the antifreeze, all the coolant out of it. That's going to have to get done because we're going to have to modify at least the upper radiator hose, and beyond that, we're going to have to mess with the heater hoses and stuff like that. So all that has to be drained. So the jacks, the purpose of putting it up on jacks is it's going to be easier, less bending over to get at stuff, and the whole front bumper cover and grills are all going to have to come off, and that's going to be easier to do when the car is actually up off the ground. So that being said, the next time you see us, hopefully,
That'll all be done.
we'll have the fuel lines and the rails and the intake off, and we'll show you the fruits of our labor.
Finished product.
Right on. Let's get to wrenching. can see here, all this oil here. You can see it here. So this is where the timing cover meets the block, actually the cylinder head. The block's right here. And then if you come over here and look, you can see the oil stains here. This is the cylinder head where it meets the block. So now the question becomes, A, do I need to fix it? Should I fix it? When you start going boosted and more cylinder head pressure and so forth, is that going to cause problems? Probably, I don't know. A lot of this is just thinking out loud. And you know, what's leaking? Is it the timing chain cover? Is that what's leaking? Or is it the cylinder head? Or both? I'm less inclined to think it's the cylinder head gasket, because if the cylinder head gasket's leaking, we got problems with combustion. You have oil getting into the coolant getting into the oil, you have poor performance, you have white smoke coming out the exhaust. All of those indications, you know, I have not seen with this car. It's low mileage, it's only like 45,000 miles. So the next question is, it's more likely the timing cover gasket. And that's not something that I really was prepared to deal with right now. But in the same token, with most of this stuff apart, if there's a time to change it, now would probably be the opportune time. And you know how the cascade effect often happens. So you start into a project, and then one thing leads to another, or in this case reveals another, and you have to address it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of that and send it off to Jason, see what he thinks of it. And then if in fact we go with changing the timing cover gasket, that means that all these pulleys have to come off, the harmonic balancer has to come off, the cam covers have to come off, because those are attached to the top of the, at least to a portion of the forward part of the timing covers, or the top part of it anyway. Adds a lot of work. But again, if it needs fixed and you got everything out, then I reckon you got to do it. But I'm telling you, I don't want to do it. That just puts the timeline back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we finally got into some meat and potatoes of the project. Run into a few hiccups just trying to get some of the connections loose. Trying to figure out, do you push, do you pull?
These things are so confusing.
Yeah, and it's things that are so simple. But we've got the lion's share. Look at, see, something's wrong.
It does that. Weird camera.
No, that ain't good.
I know, that's not the camera, that's the actual screen brightness. Yeah.
You turned it way down.
No, I didn't. It did it by itself. Because it started, isn't this weird? This camera's weird.
It's never done it before.
I know. I don't know what happened. Well, that'll be in the video.
Well, it'll look that dark, won't it?
No, it won't.
Oh.
Because look, that's just the brightness. If you swipe down.
It is the brightness.
Yep, it's the brightness. Weird.
Anyway, so a few hiccups aside, we got the lion's share of it done, but we ran into a bigger hiccup. But you know, that's a good thing. All in all, I'm happy to get out here. I'm happy to start getting it torn apart, because again, like we said, it's summertime, it's car show time, it's time to get out there and have fun.
We bought this thing like dirty though, so.
Yeah, we got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll see what happens. And I guess, you know, furthermore, if the timing cover gasket needs to be replaced, then I'm going to get all the information out there and switch it over to an 8-rib pulley system, because
might as well.
If
That's
I
what
have to
it
take
needs.
all that stuff out, the 8 rib's going to be stronger, and it's going to be able to, you know, maintain higher pressures or higher levels of boost without slippage. the belts that you need are lengthwise are all 8. Otherwise, you got to find the 8 rib and cut it down to 6. I was planning on doing that, next year anyway, but this may just
Do it now.
push that forward some more. So, but yeah,
That's that.
we're happy about that. We'll,
So
we'll
this
work it
is-
out. That's how hot rodding goes, man.
Yeah,
man.
we'll continue this in a few days, and yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
Till the next time, have a good one.